Hello and welcome to my retro watches. This episode is, well, it's an unboxing, but not an unboxing like you've seen before, because I put a post up recently in the community tab about 8 vintage watches that I bought in a job lot on eBay, and one of these in particular is one that could be quite special. I asked if any of you would guess which one it was, and many of you got it right, but then many of you also led me down a path to explore all the other options. Well, the box has turned up today and I wanted to catch it live on film because I'm really excited. This cost me £124, so it's quite a lot of money, but then through 8 watches that's probably only what, £15.50 for each watch. So I could have done really well here, could have done very well. And we're going to have a look at them live as I open it and then discuss possibly what we're going to do with them. Hopefully bring some to the channel. Certainly the one that I really want. I'm so hoping it's going to be a legitimate version of what I think it's going to be. So let's switch the cameras around. Let's get the knife out and open the box. Okay then, let's go. Now I've been waiting patiently for the weekend. It didn't take very long for the Royal Mail here in the UK to get this box to me. All credit to the seller actually for packing it properly. They posted it on Saturday morning, and it was supposed to be delivered yesterday, which was Monday, but I wasn't in, so I had to go to the sort office to collect. So like I say, I'm really excited, and let's see. No fancy knives, just a kitchen knife here. I don't have one of them flick knives or anything like all these super duper YouTubers have. And it kind of shows by the fact that I can't even open the box. There is a lot of suspense. I was hoping that he'd have packed them all up individually, to be honest, because that would have been the great reveal, wouldn't it, as we go through them. But we have a job lot, so I'm just going to put my hand in, pull one out. Ooh. So this is the Ingersoll one. I'll try and hold that up to the camera a little bit, see if you can see that. So it looks quite nice. Not the one I was after. It's a real shame, look, it's missing one of those links there, because I don't really like these stretchy bands, but yeah, that one's quite a nice one, isn't it? So it's a bit of a shame, unless I can remove one and sort of utilize it another way. So watch number 1. We'll go through these a little bit better in a while. Watch number 2. So I need my magnifiers. Yeah, so this is another Ingersoll, and this one a lot of you said that you really liked. You called it the bullseye type of dial. It does look quite handsome, doesn't it? Put some wind in. Definitely doesn't want to do anything. And that actually seems like it's winding forever as well, doesn't it? I don't feel any tension. So watch number 2. Definitely a contender. Not a bad little bracelet again on this. I like the way these sort of articulate like that, look. Okay. Watch number 3 is a Benrus or Benrus, and not much to say about that. Another interesting flexi band. These are all the rage clearly when these watches were out and about. Could be quite nice, might make a nice little project, but again, not the one I was after. So this one is a little watch. Ardia. It says it's Swiss. It's actually got quite a nice textured dial. Not sure if that's going to come out in camera. As you can see, these are plated cases, and sweat and everything has just eaten away at that one completely. But not a bad little watch. Look, it's got some life in it as well. So by this watch standards, it is very small, but then let's not be put off by that. Watch number 4. We've still got 4 to go. So watch number 5 is ticking. Another nice flexi band. And this one is a Timex with a date. Some of you picked this one. You said, let's hope it's the Timex. I don't know if you're being serious or not. I've actually done a Timex on the channel. Maybe I'll do another one. Generally, they're basic movements, but perhaps we'll crack the case backs off these shortly and see what is actually inside. Okay, watch number 7. Sorry, watch number 6. We can wind and wind and wind. Definitely doesn't want to do anything. And this one was of great interest. Not the main one for me, but certainly great interest. This is an Optima. I'm conscious of how bad this might be in film, so we will be taking some photos of these and putting them up. Another articulating bracelet, look. Very small, probably a 32mm. But yeah, quite interesting. I can't believe for a minute that's the real loom. This looks like a radium dial, so it looks like somebody's reloomed the hands. I could be totally wrong. And watch number 7. A Swiss Emperor. Nice sub-second hand and nice fancy lugs on this one. This one is fully wound and obviously no movement. Another stretchy band, of course. That one is definitely a contender for the channel. So it leaves the last one, and I've already had a glimpse at the case back, and I'm already a bit saddened in a way. But here it is. This is the one that I wanted. So appearances, it looks like it's genuine, but it hasn't got any detail on the back. So what this is should be an A11 military watch from the Second World War. These were issued to the Americans. Elgin made them, Waltham, and so did Bulova. Which one this is, I don't know. The ones that have seen service would have military stamps on the back, and sadly this one hasn't. It's got actually a really cool beads of rice bracelet on this. All the platings come off. It's nice and small. These were only 30 to 32mm. And I've actually got a review coming soon on the review channel to a homage to this. Somebody's making these to the exact same specifications pretty much, or same dimensions, same dial configurations. And that's coming up on the channel soon. And that's what sparked my interest. I was discussing it with the brand owner, and it sparked something in my mind to see if I could find an original, and lo and behold, here is one. So looking at that, I can see the second hand is bent. It's wound to the max and nothing is happening. But we'll see. It's in worse condition than I thought it would be, but then that doesn't mean anything, does it? That means project. So happy all in. Definitely looks like I've got the one that I wanted. And then I guess with the other ones, make some content. Hopefully I can get my money back and enjoy this one for what it is. Perhaps even some nickel plating maybe. So let's switch the cameras around again. Let's take the backs off and have a good look inside. So of course I've got to start with this one. I've taken the bracelet off. A little bit disheartened. I can't wind it. Pull the crown out. None of the hands turn. That is really, really stiff. So that could mean, probably does mean, something's rusted up in there. But let's remain hopeful, at least for the time being. Case back, just a sticky ball. And we've got it. Okay. So it looks like I've got to try get under this gasket. Yeah. Well, it's the sight I've definitely wanted to see. Hopefully that's coming out on film. It is the Boulevard. Yes. So that's the movement I wanted. A lot of people actually said that that's the one it would be. You hinted that you could tell from the minute track on the watch. So well done those who got it right. And I'm really pleased. So far I can't see any noticeable damage. Balance feels a bit stiff. So yeah, whatever has gone wrong, I think is probably dial side. I cannot see, excuse me, I cannot see any rust anywhere. And I don't want to dig too deep because obviously we want to make a video out of this. And yeah, so to be honest, I'm really pleased. It is the one I wanted. It's just a shame that it hasn't got the military service marks on it that would indicate that this has been worn by a proper soldier or issued by the military, should we say, because those ones are more valuable. It's not about the value for me because I rarely sell watches, and this one certainly would be something for me to collect and keep. Looking at the case back, there's nothing in there. Yeah, and on this one, again with the way the focus is of this camera, there is a one service mark there. So it has been loved at some point, but given the fact that it's probably nearly 80 years old, one service in 80 years is not good enough, is it? So this is going to get the Mike Bolton treatment on my retro watches. Stay tuned for that. That's coming very soon. Let's crack open all the others and see what's inside them. Next up, the Optima. I've tried to take the bracelet off. It's got drilled lugs, but this one is completely welded almost. I cannot budge it for the life of me. So this one equally is not running at all. The back is already loose. So somebody has had a look in here before me. Now that looks quite nice, doesn't it? Just trying to read what it says, and it'll be upside down for you possibly. Just try. Or was it? I always get everything mixed up here. So ALB Grossenbacher. My French Swiss is just horrendous. Looks like a lovely little movement, that, to be honest. Cannot see the make from the top of my mind here, but we'll have to stay tuned and find that one out at a later date. So this 100% definitely a contender for the channel. It's got a very military vibe, and I think we can get that one back up and running. Should really get my Geiger counter out as well at this stage, because some of these are going to be slightly radioactive, I feel. Very nice case back. Got all the nice milling pattern on it. Perlage, is it Perlage? I forgot the name. And there's one service mark on it too. So from the first two watches, they're the ones that I wanted to look at the most. I'm really pleased with what I'm seeing. Next up, a little Ingersoll. These came with the quite fancy bracelet, but on reflection, when you take it off, that's absolutely ruined. I wouldn't want to wear that at all, to be honest with you. So that, well, I don't know. Anyone wants any spare links? Let me know. So it says it's a 15 jewel lever, Swiss made. And looking at that, I need to get my case knife out. And inside this one, that's what we see. Nice 15 jewel movement, very typical hand winder. Balance to spin, but it is trying to tick. Look, now I've touched it. So that could just need a service. There's absolutely no service marks in the case back. It's not the most fantastic one out of the whole lot here, but certainly could be a project. Next one, move on. Now we have the Swiss Emperor. I've already taken the case back off. One service mark, that's all there is on there. Trouble is, flip it over. Movement looks okay. It's an AS movement, I can tell you that much. This is a mangled hairspring. So that ain't running anytime soon. Nice little 17 jewel. I think I've possibly serviced this movement before. It looks very familiar, but then AS do tend to look familiar, so maybe a slightly different calibre. We might come back to that one, you never know. Some of these, of course, turn into parts watches. It is nice looking, but it's plated, and as a result, the plating has sort of oxidised and turned a bit nasty. But so far, I think we're doing all right. Okay, the bullseye dial that everybody likes, including me now. It's actually got like fish scales on the inside. Cannot get the bracelet off. The pins are really stuck on this one. Bracelet's still quite cool. It's probably the one that I could reuse out of all this one. So this is definitely going to be a project if we can get it to work. It's like I say, it just wants to wind. At least the hands turn. Possibly full of radium there as well. I'm going off camera. So let's get the back off. And open the back. And you got my Nemesis in one of these. That is what looks like a pin pallet. These things didn't have many jewels as a rule. A lot of metal on metal. What's actually quite interesting is this screw here. Well, actually all the big screws you can see have been thermally blued. So an attempt for decoration. But it's very alarming. I can straight away see some problems. The regulator and the balance, sorry, the regulator and the stud are right next to each other. And a watch is never going to run when that's happening. Balance is sort of trying to turn. Can't see any maker's mark. It's possibly a BFG. Comment below if you think you know what this is. I will try and research them. Should I bring this to the channel? Will you let me know? I've never done a pin pallet on the channel. There's always a bit of a laugh in the Facebook group between me and a lot of other members of my hatred for these particular movements, because they're a pain in the backside. Metal on metal. Some people start on these watches, and I find that very courageous, because I would never recommend starting on something like this, because you can get very frustrated very easily trying to line up all of those pivots into the metal, and then they don't run especially super fantastic. So I could be proven wrong, certainly if I bring it to the channel. So like I say, you let me know what you think. It certainly looks old, but again, can't see any noticing marks. I mean, funny enough, it's actually decorated on the top here as well. We've got some milled stripes, look. So yeah, it's actually, I'm warming to it. Let's put it that way. I'm warming to it. So there we go. We've got 3 more to go, and stick around to see the rest. Okay, this cute little one here, sort of got rose gold hands and numerals on there and indices. Very small watch. Got quite a nice little movement in it though. Look at that, it's trying to run. It's only 17 joules. Trying to see the maker's mark. Looks like FEF, but I can't quite tell. I think what I'll do is I'll try and get the movement numbers out of these. I'll put it in the description below so you can see what actually we've got. Should I bring this one to the channel? Don't really know. They're all looking pretty similar, aren't they? All these hand winding movements. Yeah, the case is battered, and until I learn how to plate, kind of wonder if it's worth saving. It's a nice looking thing, but you've got a sort of knurling, or well, not a knurling really, but it's like almost like a bezeled edge, coined edge, which to try and strip that off and replate would be very, very difficult. So instinct on this one, could be a parts bin, could be a flipper back on eBay. Getting to the end now. This is the Benrus, and yeah, nice little case back on it. Look, needs a new crystal. Nice three-hander. All the loom has completely fallen out the hands. Again, I'm thinking this is radium. Turn it over though. That looks like a very nice little polish movement. It's actually an ETA. I can just see that there. Can I see the number? I can't. But yeah, so we've got an ETA movement. They're always worth working on, let's face it. That's what I'm doing at the moment for the next video in the Zenith. So yes, look, that I think might have to come to the channel. Looks to me like the coils are a bit out in the hairspring. So could it be a magnetism issue or something like that? I don't know. But yeah, definitely a contender here. Again, the case, plated case, you can see it's all flaking off, but never mind. And last but not least, the little charming Timex. Everyone has a little bit of a soft spot for a Timex, don't they? You know, they keep on, well, they take a licking and keep on ticking. And this one is now ticking. I've taken the case back off, and it's one of those movements that I've kind of showed before. You basically dip the whole thing in one go and wash it, and then it sort of runs again, hopefully. So I'm not sure, to be honest, whether this is channel contender. We've got quite a lot already, plus I did a video earlier on in the year, I think, or beginning of end of last year, of all the other watches I've got to bring to the channel. There's far too many of them now, and to be quite frank. So no, I'm not sure about the Timex, but then you tell me. Be interested to know your thoughts and what you think about that. Right, just for the end of the video, I thought I'd get the little phone Geiger type thing for the iPhone here. One of my subscribers actually sent me this a while ago when I did a video on an Omega. Don't think it's going to be terribly accurate. Don't take any of the readings as gospel, but at least it tells you if something's a little bit hot or not. We're going to start with the Timex because pretty sure, 100% sure, there's nothing wrong with that Timex at all. So I'm just going to press go on this. Comes up with measuring in the corner, and then the whole idea is to sort of hover it over the watch, and I'm a little bit off screen there, so we're getting nothing on that. So here's the Benrus, and let's try that. Oh, see that straight away, see how it's flashing? Again, I'm off screen, I do apologise. So this one's definitely radioactive. Again, I don't know much about these readings, and I'm not going to read too much into it or get too worried. I haven't taken the watches out of the case, and I certainly aren't going to be licking these dials or grinding them up and doing anything to them. So that one is definitely live. The Swiss Emperor, I'm going to say, is going to have nothing on it because there's no loom anywhere. So we'll just check. Yeah, and we're getting nothing. Just waiting really for that measurement to drop down as well. I think if I stop it and start it again, yeah, it goes back to 10. So yeah, Swiss Emperor, nothing to worry about here. The Ingersoll, that's this one. Again, I don't see any loom on this one, or any evidence there was some loom, but there are just some actually dark pips that I can just see on some of the numbers. And to be fair, I would have thought that they were live. Maybe they're that small. Well, let's move on. That one's okay. Okay, the A11, the all-important A11. To me, I've looked at it, the hands just look painted. They don't look radioactive or filled with loom anyway. And that's bearing out as well on that reading look. So we're getting nothing at all. And in some ways that's good, because obviously I really want to work on this watch. I think this is probably going to be the next video after the one I'm doing at the moment on the Zenith. Dying to get stuck into that. So we are safe on that one. Let's bring in the Optima. So this is a kind of military looking watch with the scale it has and everything else. And I'm 100% guaranteed that this is going to read. Yeah, and it's already off. I don't know how long you're supposed to test this for. If I put it right over the hands, it's still reading off the hands. Doesn't look like it's coming up with anything significant. And what's interesting as well, I can't tell if those hands, because they're so yellow, whether somebody's actually loomed it separately. I suppose I could use an ultraviolet pen, but maybe that's for the video when we come to restore that one. So that's definitely a live one. The Bullseye, as we like to call it, I'm thinking this one will be. It looks old. Yeah, straight away. Screen's flashing in red. And certainly when you get to those hands, look, those hands, it's galloping away, isn't it? Look. Yeah, so the Ingersoll, that's a hot one. And then I think the last one is just this little one here, which is actually quite happily ticking away. So I've just seen it flash already. I'm just going to stop it and start it again. Yeah, there we go. So that one's also hot. Interesting little thing just to pass some time away. Yeah, we all know vintage watches do contain radium, or some of them do. So you've got to be a bit mindful of that. For me personally, if I'm taking them apart, maybe I'll put a mask on just for the disassembly, and I'll certainly keep the hands and dial in a separate container to everything else, and just treat it a little bit carefully, wipe down all my surfaces, throw my finger cuts away, all that sort of thing, just to be 100% sure that I'm not accidentally touching my lips or scratching my eye or anything silly like that where perhaps a particle could get inside. Okay guys, that's the end of the video, and I told you it was an unboxing video like no other. What a journey that took us on, didn't it, eh? I was really excited about opening these up all day long, and glad I managed to share it with you guys too. Tell me which ones are your favourites. Which ones do you think are worthy of the channel? Comment below. I'm going to be reading those comments and replying to as many as I can. If any of you know any information about these movements or about the manufacturers, for instance Optima, things like that, I'll be really interested to hear what you've got to say. Some of you are extremely knowledgeable and insightful, and if you want to share that knowledge in the comments, I would be very, very grateful. So yeah, the A11 is definitely going to be coming to the channel. It's really, really small, and I'm slightly nervous because of the fact that the hands won't move when I pull the crown. I'm really worried that that's rust or something quite sinister in there, and I don't know how easy or hard it is to get parts for these. So stick around, because that, I think, is going to be the video coming up next. At the moment, I'm doing a Zenith. It's very nearly finished. I hope to finish recording this week, the view to editing it and uploading it next week. So talking of uploads, please like this video if you enjoyed it. Of course, it really does help the algorithm. I've seen the channel views literally halve in the last 2 weeks. YouTube really do punish channels like mine if I don't upload content a lot and that you guys don't watch. If you don't watch the videos, it really does make the channel suffer, which is terrible for me. I put a lot of effort into everything I do, try to make it interesting, and I want to just bring more people into this hobby and more people onto the channel, of course. The more I can take down the rabbit hole of watchmaking, the better. So please help me out, hit a like. That really, really does help. If you're new to the channel, of course, and you liked what you saw, hit the subscribe. Everybody also hit the bell button. That way you're going to get notified when I upload a new video, and that way you can watch it as it comes out. So I think that's everything I've got to say, because it's been quite a lot, hasn't there? So yeah, comment. I'll see you soon in the next one. Looking forward to your feedback. Bye for now.